Welcome to the Breaking the Barriers podcast, brought to you by Resilience Mindset, a division of Justine Martin Corporation. This podcast is your front row seat to inspiration, empowerment, and real-life stories that will leave you in awe. Join our host Justine Martin, CEO and founder of Resilience Mindset, as we dive into the incredible lives of the 27 models featured in the groundbreaking community project, Breaking Barrier Stories Through the Lens. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and get ready for stories that will uplift, empower, and inspire.
Today on the podcast, we're honoured to welcome the incredible Raegan, a woman of extraordinary resilience, determination, and advocacy. Born blind, Raegan has never let her disability define her. Instead, she has embraced challenges, turned them into opportunities, and proven time and time again that blindness does not mean limitation. From learning to type at 15 to navigating education, work, and social life, Raegan has broken down misconceptions about blindness at every turn. Her involvement in breaking the barriers through the lens is a powerful testament to visibility, not just in the literal sense, but in showcasing the capability, independence, and vibrant lives of people with disabilities. Her message is clear. You are capable of more than you think. Don't let the world's perceptions limit your potential. Find your strength, adapt, and keep moving forward. Let's welcome the inspiring Raegan to the show.
Can you tell this is not my first rodeo? But it's still kind of like, you know, the nervousness and the apprehensiveness never goes away being in front of the camera.
Yeah, it does when you've done as many as I have.
Well, I haven't quite got to that yet, but I'm also like on stage, you know, once every couple of months up at the Barn Club in front of 100.
What do you do there?
Have you ever heard of the Geelong Music Community Collective?
No, tell us about that.
Yeah, I will. It's great. It's just a bunch of local musos that kind of get together and do like a theme.
Yeah.
And they, so we've done a night all of Foo Fighters, some songs from movies.
So do you play an instrument?
I sing.
You sing?
Oh,
Wow. That's
So, yeah.
awesome.
Being on stage and being in the spotlight is not new.
Not new for you, no?
But
So
in this context, this has been, look, this might be better recorded, honestly, because to get me where I am now,
Yep.
I was telling everyone, if you'd asked me to do this a couple of years ago, I would have said absolutely not.
So what changed?
Have you heard the term inspirational porn?
Yes.
That. I have epic issues, not with the term, but what it represents. That whole, oh, you're disabled, you got out of bed this morning, pat, pat, pat.
Mm.
I don't like it. It just feels jarring. And it feels really icky.
Yep.
But I've come to the conclusion very recently that I feel like for me to be able to, you know, be that one person that might be able to change that perception, I have to be the poster girl. Someone has to be the poster person.
Yep.
To be able to get the knowledge and that rhetoric out there that it's not okay.
I think it needs to be more than one.
But one person can start.
That's right.
And if I want to change it, I can't sit here and whinge. I can sit here and whinge, but I've got to do something about it.
Yeah. My mum always said to me, if you want to see the change in the world, start with yourself.
A very good friend of mine. If not me, then who?
Yep. That's exactly right.
That's what I go by now. And it might be uncomfortable. And I might feel like crap. Because again, the fact that, you know, and I've copped it my entire life.
So tell us about your story.
I've got 2 kids. I'm in my 40s. I was born legally blind.
Yeah.
Didn't really, you know, have any, like, conscious recognition of that until I kind of got to kindergarten and primary school, and that's when I realised that compared to everybody else, I was different. I didn't know what that meant exactly, but people looked at me very differently. And
Treated you differently?
yeah, like the condescension and the patronising words that I
Tell us some of those
told.
words.
Are you okay? Like, you need to picture it in your head and hear it in that tone of voice, like you're 3 years old and you don't understand anything. Are you okay, Raegan? there's a door over there. Did you hear that? Did you understand that? The slow tone and talking to me like I'm a child.
Yeah. And it happens as well. I sometimes use a wheelchair. And so people will yell at me thinking that I can't hear.
Yeah.
Just because my legs aren't working. I can't hear.
Yeah.
Or they'll slow down their voice and like I'm simple, and it's like I can still hear, I can still understand you. It's just that my feet are not working today. So same kind of thing when you were 3.
I'm not, like, I tell people now my eyes might be broken, but I'm pretty sure my brain still works.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's really funny when I do come out with the big fancy words that, I sound like I've eaten a dictionary for breakfast. I was at the Children's Hospital a number of years ago, and to the doctors about my son, I used the word rambunctious. Now, that's not a big word for me.
Yeah.
The look on one of the doctor's faces and just the tone of awe that I could use a proper word. The times where, oh, you can use a computer. Yeah. I learned how to type when I was 15.
Yeah.
The funniest ones happen, though, when someone thinks I can't hear them. I laugh about it now. And I'll get the muttering under the breath, and I might be called a name. What was that? Oh, you heard that? Yes, I did.
So is your hearing more pronounced?
I've never had it tested that I recall. But yeah, I absolutely think that my hearing has compensated. I call it my bat hearing.
Yeah, basically, because I've read that before.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, that when you lose one sense, the others pick up on it.
Like my sense of smell, I think, is pretty good.
See, mine's exceptional.
Yeah.
Which is a problem when you're out in public.
It's not great.
No.
Particularly at restaurants when there's like a million smells going on and there's a million sounds.
Well, you're at a rock concert and someone drops one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I can ignore. I have children.
So do I, but they're a lot older.
So am I. But that sort of stuff. I was talking to someone last night about this though, around the hearing.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it looks like to people that, I can't emotionally regulate or anything, but if things are really loud or a sharp sound like feedback from a mic, I will overhear, and it looks like I'm having a meltdown. It is what I would call a sensory overload. Yeah. But, so, I struggle at, smaller gigs. When there's feedback, I struggle in the supermarket because there's so much going on.
So much white noise that people don't realise.
No, not at all. And I hear everything.
Yeah.
And I have to be able to hear that to keep me grounded and to keep me safe because I can't see.
Yeah.
But if I go to a metal gig, I'm up the front, right in front of the band with the speakers.
Yeah.
That is not an overload.
No. So it's definitely too much hearing coming in at once.
Yeah, unless you get me at a metal concert. And then
that's different.
Mind.
They're different.
I'm glad you understand.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Any sort of concert I'm fine with, but the metal ones in particular.
Yeah.
So I have been told more than once that I do not look like a stereotypical metal chick.
No, you're in hot pink. I would definitely say you don't look like a metal chick.
But also because I'm quite small and because I have the glasses and I don't look like what you would see in the media.
So that brings me to the point of what people seem as disabilities. So the national symbol for disability is a wheelchair.
Yeah.
All right. But the majority of us don't use wheelchairs that have disabilities.
No, I don't.
So you would obviously do you have a parking permit?
I need to get one for my husband and my support workers. I don't drive.
Yeah. So I have one, and when I get out of my car, I get told off for parking there because I don't look like I've got a disability.
And it's an interesting thing because probably it's a throwback to the time I was a child, the 80s and the 90s. And I don't, like, if you look closely enough, it's pretty obvious that my vision is very, very poor. But I don't always look disabled.
No.
And because of the time I grew up in, the technology wasn't there, the knowledge wasn't there, so I just kind of got on with it as best I could.
Are you loving the podcast so far? Imagine the possibilities if you had Justine Martin guiding you through your writing journey. Whether you're crafting your next big book or perfecting a personal project, Justine's expertise can elevate your work. Don't miss out on the chance to work with a seasoned pro, ready to take your writing to the next level. Message us today and let's make your writing dreams come true.
How do you think society become more inclusive and supportive of people with disabilities?
You know what? I said before that it was a loaded question, and it can be. But for people to be more inclusive and for society to be more inclusive, I feel like everyone should just take a minute to think about the other person.
Mm.
And the whole, don't assume.
Yeah, 100%.
Because again, sometimes, you're looking straight at me now and it's pretty obvious that I can't see, like with the thickness of my glasses and the lovely eye turns that we get. But I don't, because sometimes I don't look disabled, and because I am fiercely independent as much as I can be, people will assume that, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
If everyone would just take a minute and maybe ask a question without being condescending and patronising.
Mm.
Like, are you okay? I've had that before. Are you okay? Do you need a hand? No, I'm fine, thank you. Are you sure? Yes, I'm fine. Are you really sure? Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I don't like being rude. I had it drilled into me as a child.
Yeah.
If you can't say something nice,
Don't
say
it
anything at all.
Yeah, I think that was our generation.
That was definitely, and some other experiences that I've had too. It was be nice or you cop it.
So how has sharing your story influenced others or your community?
And see, some of that comes back to that, being a poster girl or being a poster person. I think me doing particularly in the last few years, I've been to TAFE, I started uni, I got married, and I've done some things with the City of Greater Geelong and some different community groups.
Mm.
It is around showing people that anyone can do anything
100%.
if they want to, but also if they have the right support.
That's it, isn't it? Support.
I don't like the blanket statement of, you can do anything, you can set your mind, you set your mind to. Well, no, I can set my mind to get a driver's license all I want. I'm not going to get a driver's license.
Mm.
But I can do anything that is physically possible for me if I have that support.
Yeah.
And I can show people, whether by words or just by what I do, that anyone can do anything.
Yeah.
But, a lot of that comes back down to not want to be that person that you have a disability and you got out of bed. Go you. No, I got out of bed because I'm a person.
Mm.
I'm just a person with really bad eyesight.
Yeah.
And, a bit of a twisted head.
Is that the heavy metal?
Definitely the heavy metal. The heavy metal ended up being an inadvertent coping mechanism.
So why was it important for you to participate in this project?
I think I'm becoming more comfortable, not necessarily with my disabilities. I've been like this my whole life.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I've been asked 2 years ago to be able to speak so publicly about my experiences, I probably would have said no. To get to this point today, it's important for me to continue that growth for me.
Yep.
And it comes back to showing people that they can do these things.
100%.
They need to want to do it.
Yeah.
That old thing of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
But having people and having systems and a society that supports.
And the opportunities.
And the opportunities. This wouldn't have happened even 5 years ago, I don't think. Certainly not when I was in high school.
Mm.
There's so many new opportunities for...
Do you think society's becoming more acceptable of people with disabilities? Or do they like to think that they're becoming more acceptable? I think they've got a long way to go.
We do. We really do.
Yeah.
That was highlighted when I went to Parliament House a few weeks ago, and the accessibility is pretty much non-existent. Yep. I spoke to someone and he said, it's 1855 accessible. Well, that doesn't help me in 2024, does it?
Mm.
I think overall society is becoming more accepting. Unfortunately, I feel that can highlight those pockets of people and pockets of society that aren't accepting.
Mm.
It makes it a lot more of a stark contrast.
Yeah.
And then, the media will portray 90% of the bad and maybe 10%
of the good,
of the positive.
Yeah.
And I want to be in that 10% so we can average that out a bit.
Yeah, 100%.
But I've found it so much more jarring if if someone's rude or if I feel like I'm being discriminated against. It's so much more jarring now.
Yeah.
Because we're in 2024.
And people should be educated.
Or at least, if you're not educated, do something about it.
Yes.
Or be quiet.
Yes.
Again, can't say something nice.
Yes, 100%.
Don't say it at all.
How do you find joy and fulfillment in your life?
I get up and I do stuff.
What stuff?
I have two, the oldest is technically a teenager, but I have 2 kids and I got married a few years ago, and anything to do with music or performance.
Yeah, it brings joy.
It does.
And your face just lights up every time you talk about it, whether it's metal music or any music.
So I do dance classes.
Yeah.
I've done singing lessons, I've done music lessons, I've learned to play the drums. Not very well, but I can still play them.
Awesome.
Getting up on stage. I do want to be able to play an instrument at some point, but I've done acting classes, I go and see musical theatre, but anything... I tell people that I could sing before I could talk.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I never remember a time I never sang.
That's amazing.
And, a few people, family included, have been rather dismissive. But I think that comes down to, hang on, you're disabled. You can't do these things. You can't go on stage. No one wants to look at you.
So, who are your role models?
My kids. They really are. I know that's not the way it's supposed to be. Not, if you go a societal view of that. I
It could be anyone you want it to be.
But my kids.
Awesome.
They have put up and dealt with more in 20 years than most adults I know.
Mm.
And having to deal with what they've been through and also helping me.
Yeah.
And a lot of change in the last 10 years. And they are the strongest kids I know.
Have you ever thought about writing your own book? Join the Morpheus Publishing Writing Group program and turn your dream into reality. Contact Morpheus Publishing today and start your journey to becoming a published author.
What message would you like to share with the world through this project?
Just ask a question. If you don't understand, just ask.
Yeah.
And again, if you really have nothing nice to say, just don't.
Mm.
I'd rather, personally, I can't speak for everyone, but I'd rather someone be quiet than say whatever comes into their head.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Think before they...
Think before you speak.
Yes.
And I think there was a good saying I heard a number of years ago around, think twice as much as you speak, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was something like that. And I guess, again, anyone, whether you have a disability or not, you can do whatever.
Mm.
Just the support system.
Yeah.
You need the support system.
You do. Yeah. And you can't build resilience without support. And asking for help is never a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength to do so.
That was a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah.
I still struggle. I won't even ask for a lift unless I really have to, because I've been catching buses for 30 years.
Yeah.
And look what happened this morning. That was not possible.
Well, thank you for your time and coming and participating in the project.
Today's been great.
Fantastic.
It's been great.
I can't wait to see the end result.
I'm going to be constantly checking.
And we'll let you know when they're all ready to view. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Breaking the Barriers. We hope these stories inspired you as much as they inspired us. Stay connected and keep the conversation going by following us on social media at Resilience Mindset. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see how these stories resonate with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast today so you never miss an episode. Together, let's continue to celebrate resilience, diversity, and the power of storytelling. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep breaking those barriers.